वक्त के साथ बदलाव नहीं लाओगे तो वक्त आपका साथ नहीं देगा.
What is so special that you do or you did that other people are not able to do and they're not able to achieve results? ऐसा नहीं है कि intelligent नहीं है, brains नहीं है, knowledge नहीं है, तो क्या कमी है?
Tata Tea can buy Tetley, which was a 2x bigger company. If Tata Steel can buy Chorus, which is a 4x bigger company. If Tata Motors can buy Land Rover Jaguar, which might be 7 or 8x bigger company. And all of these three companies are UK-based companies. And if an Indian origin man can become the biggest employer in UK,
Wow.
then let me tell you, you guys are not working for yourself. Here, Dev is not here to help you on your Mercedes or a BMW. He is building this nation's economy with you guys.
The man who went from doing decent in life to going complete broke to rebuilding his own empire at a very early age, becoming very successful as not only just the coach, not only just as an author, not just as an entrepreneur, not just as a philanthropist, somebody who has been serving India and many people around the globe for more than 20 plus years. And you know who we are talking about? Put your hands together, ladies and gentlemen, all the Passionpreneur. Let's give a big warm welcome to multi-millionaire, multi-talented, one and only, Sneh Desai! All right. Please, विराजमान हो जाए इसने. कैसा लग रहा है आपको Passionpreneur Connect में आके?
Amazing energy. I was seeing from the backstage, you people rock.
Yeah. Have a seat. Please have a seat. आपने अपना नसीब खुद ही बनाया. You created your own destiny. You created your own future. But you know, I actually want to go back in the past. There are a lot of things which could not be shared on the such a short video because your journey has been really inspiring. मैंने आपको देखा है और admire किया before even I started my journey. That makes me younger than you. Just joking. But yes, मुझे आपका वो वाक्य पता है, but मैं चाहता हूँ आप सबके साथ शेयर करें. जब आपका एकदम डाउनफॉल आया, पूरा सब कुछ खत्म हो गया, वो कैसी सिचुएशन थी, उस क्या हालात थी और आपको टर्न अराउंड कैसे मिला अपनी लाइफ में? How did you actually turn around your life?
Yeah. Actually, as Dev, you know that I was born and brought up in an affluent family. Normally, someone is born in a poor family and then we become rich. And I had exactly the reverse process. I was born in an affluent family and then at the age of 16, I become a new poor. And it was difficult to adapt just because, situations change dramatically in your life. But back in those days, when we moved from a 10-room house to a rented place, and my father had a 22 lakh debt, and back in those days, 22 lakhs in today's time would be around 70 or 80 lakhs.
Wow.
So, I just had one thought in my mind, जब खोने के लिए कुछ बाकी ही नहीं है,
फिर क्या डर?
Then why not to take the risk and the leap of faith? And that's what I did. But I knew one thing, and that was sure that you need skill to make money, not degree. Because from the age of 17, I could not go forward with my education. I had to take a break in my education for a year just because my family could not sponsor me for college. But then, I did not have the degree, I did not have that experience, but I had skill. I knew how to speak on stage. I knew how to coach people. So, when we are talking about Passionpreneur Connect, I'm sure that, I could recognize my passion at a very young age. कि भाई ultimately पैसा ही बनाना है. Then why not to serve people, add value, and to make money? So that's for me earning with blessings. Thank you. So
आसान था क्या? उस समय का दौर बताइए, क्या किया आपने? Exactly, जनता जानना चाहती है. Passionpreneur wants to know. Exactly क्या हुआ था? Turning point क्या आया था आपकी लाइफ में?
I would love to share a story जो बहुत कम audience के साथ मैंने share करी है. At the age of 17, when I started my training company to be a coach, what you need is money. Everything starts with money, right? And it happened so that I did not even had money to have a projector, basically a display, or a auditorium, not even money to, give a newspaper advertisement to bring in the crowd. So what I did was, I had the skill, I designed a project report of 3 sessions, which I'm going to take down the line 6 months. And I designed that project report mentioning that I need this much amount, and those who are ready to invest with me are going to get this much percentage of partnership. So I designed a business model. See, when you don't have money, what you need is an idea. You need to put in some efforts, and you need to take risk. इसे हिंदी में मैं कहता हूँ, idea चाहिए, पुरुषार्थ चाहिए, पराक्रम चाहिए. So that's what 3 things I combined. And I went to a couple of people who were known to my father. Now, my father had a great business back in those days, but everything had been,
Shut down.
ground zero now. But through his connects, I went to a couple of businessmen and I pitched the idea that this is the skill I have. If you are ready to invest, I'm ready to give you this much in return. So I personally feel मांगने नहीं जाना है, opportunity offer करनी है.
और ये कौन सा साल था? What year was that?
So this was around about 2004, I would say.
2004. What were you doing in 2004? Let me also think what I was doing in 2004. You already started your business in 2004.
Yeah.
But there was one period before that which gave you a breakthrough, survival. How did you go from survival to getting a breakthrough?
So, when I was in that survival situation when दो वक्त की रोटी नहीं थी, I was sleeping, I would say, without having meals. And in that situation, one thing turned around, and that was a small article. I read about Tony Robbins. Actually, I had 8 rupees in my pocket that particular day, and I went...
No, I'm going to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Sir, 8 rupees क्यों थे? You had the rented apartment, you're living there, but why you only had 8 rupees? You had the place, you did not have food. Hard to believe, no?
Yeah.
Please tell us.
Sure. So, my father had actually a factory, but when he got bankrupt and he had a lot of to pay back to the society, it happened so that he did not had a flow of income. And that's where I took up the charge thinking that I can support my family. And initially, I started to work for another coach who had been one of my mentors when I was 9 years old.
No.
And I just went to him and told him, बस मुझे साथ रख लो. Keep me with you. I'm going to become a coach like you. And I'll do anything and everything with you. So I used to, lift his bags, take his pictures, design graphics for him and everything.
You're master key, like.
Yes. So that's the reason probably today in my business, I can do anything what my team does. So अगर वहाँ पर sound का problem आ जाए तो मुझे बुला लेना.
Yes.
So, that's how it started. But then, once upon a time, वहाँ से भी I was disconnected. That guy thought that I'm a threat to him because I'm growing faster.
Okay.
And in that situation, one day I just had that $8 and we were moving to a different rented house and my father is like, घर पे मत आना, just because we don't know where are we going. If you can eat something outside, if you have money, just do that. And I just had 8 rupees. I went to a vada pav stall and, was having a vada pav. And normally what we do is in that newspaper thing when we serve vada pav, you just throw that away. And it was a Gujarati newspaper. I'm a Gujarati, but then I am not comfortable reading Gujarati. It happened so that there was an article about Tony Robbins. I just had heard his name. I didn't know much about him. But that article mentioned that when Tony was 17, he was homeless. He was being abused. And a lot of stuff about him inspired me. Then after that, from that condition, he went up becoming a millionaire.
Wow.
And
That's
that
early
story,
2000, right?
Yeah.
That was early 2000.
Sorry?
What year was that again?
Again, that was 2004. Yeah.
2004, same year, yeah.
So,
Wow. So from Vada Pav to
And how
Zindagi Pav, aisa.
I believe, Dave, everything happens for a reason.
For sure.
That newspaper article came for a reason to me, and that helped me. I was, at that moment, I was in that complaining zone, and that shifted me to be grateful कि मेरे पास घर तो है, भले किराए का है. I have my family, I have my parents who are supporting me. And that shifted a lot of things inside me, and I took up the decision कि ठीक है, किसी ने मुझे निकाल दिया है, but I'll start something of my own. And that's how the journey started.
That's interesting. Tell me a little bit about your big break that you got, because dal roti to milne shuru ho gayi. You started doing some sessions, some partnership and all that. Now you're no longer eating vada pav anymore. So you were having dal, roti, chawal, whatever. But then what was the big break, and how long did it take for you to, like, man, you're not an overnight success, are you?
Sorry?
Are you overnight success?
No.
What is the...
So, there is an interesting incident, guys. It was in Mumbai itself. I was 17 when I started, but then I knew that I need to go to masses. I need to bring in more people. And to make that possible, I was aware that I need to create my brand. If you don't have a brand, you won't be able to attract the right people. And I started authoring a book. At the age of 17, I started that, and at the age of 18, when I had my first book ready, I decided to inaugurate that book, launch that book with a bigger brand than me. And I personally feel that if you want to become a brand, associate yourself with a bigger brand than you. So back in those days, Munna Bhai MBBS was an amazing film which was running in the theaters. And I was attracted with the character called Circuit. I was not inspired with Sanjay Dutt, but I was inspired with Arshad Warsi, because Arshad Warsi का एक dialogue था, भाई ने बोला है करना है तो करना है.
That's true. I like that dialogue.
And as Dev shares the concept of dream student, my father had shared this at a very young age to me that, Sneh, whosoever is your mentor, make sure that you are following 100%, not 99, not 98, 100%. So, the dream student concept was there in me, and I could see that Arshad Warsi, who is playing the role of Circuit, was a dream student for Sanjay Dutt.
Oh.
And that's how
That's interesting.
I decided to bring Arshad Warsi for inaugurating my book. But, everything comes at a price, right?
Yes.
Ab un dinon mein, whatever amount was decided was so big that I was not even making that money from 1 quarter from my business.
Wow.
And I took that call that I bring him, and I decided to bring him in a premium most auditorium in Mumbai that was at Worli Nehru Stadium Auditorium. Back in those days, it was not something which you could afford, but then, guess what? When Arshad came and he launched the book, on that very single day, whatever I offered to my audience, guess what? जो मैंने 3 महीने में नहीं बनाया था, 1 महीने में बना लिया.
Wow. And I think everybody here can resonate with that story. You know why? Because I think this is what we've been discussing for last 2.5, 3 days, that energy blocks, financial energy blocks. People think, I only have this much, jitni, chadar hai utne pair pasaro, right? But तुमने बहुत बड़े पैर पसारे और चद्दर बड़ी हो गई.
Yeah.
You actually pushed yourself, you reached up, you extended your financial energy, extended your comfort, and then that became a breakthrough. And how did that brand leveraged?
I'll just add one more thing there.
Yeah.
How many of you know that Dave owned Ferrari, right? You bought Ferrari, right?
Yes.
All right. See, that's the same thing which I did, but probably it was unconscious or I don't know what. At the age of 19, when I bought my first Mercedes, which was back in, I would say, 2006, it was a big decision. Everybody around me told it's a wrong decision. It's depreciative. And I agree to that.
मेरे भाई ने भी बोला था मेरे को. Ferrari, बैंक में डालो पैसा. Then later on you understand, अच्छा क्या.
And the place where I resided, when I brought that Mercedes, everybody around knew कि ये बंदा smuggling कर रहा है.
I think हमारी जर्नी सिमिलर है. आपने बहुत पहले की है, मेरे साथ यही हो रहा है अभी ऐसा. मेरे रिलेटिव बोल रहा है कुछ तो कर रहा है देव काला काला धन सर्कलिंग का. Wow, that's interesting. फिर
But
क्या हुआ?
somewhere, that day when I brought that car, everything which I had learned in my life from all of the mentors and the books I had read, I realized one thing, and that is, knowing is different and actually manifesting something is totally different. And the day when it manifested and when I was able to bring that Mercedes to my place, I realized that अगर ये हो सकता है, तो कुछ भी हो सकता है.
That is powerful. Very powerful statement. Very powerful. तो मर्सिडीज के बाद, अर्शर वारसी के बाद, लोग आपको कैसे परसीव करने लगे? And how did that impact your business? Because now you're starting to become a brand. Are you able to connect the dots? Yes? It is the same singularity when it comes to becoming successful, whether you're a coach or not a coach. It's a similar step, similar journey. That's why, our value systems are similar. Our journey is also similar. It's just that he is a little ahead of, what I just started 6 years ago. He started for more than 20 plus years ago. So when you started doing that, Mercedes, Arshirvati, and then what impact did that have on your business and how it helped you?
I'll tell you something interesting, guys. I started as a coach, speaker, trainer, whatever we say. But once all of this, milestones became part of my life, interestingly, right people got attracted to me. I did not knew anything about any other industry, but people started approaching me, sir, why don't you explore real estate? Why don't you explore something else, something that? And I had no clue about that. And I was like, okay, teach me, explain me what's that. And just to let you know, guys, at the age of 23, I, back then, was owning 6 different businesses. And the credit doesn't go to me. Actually, credit goes to the decisions which I took, which attracted the right people in my life.
True. Wow. कितना पैसा आपके पास?
मतलब आप प्राइवेट में पूछ रहे तो बता देता हूँ.
है ना, प्राइवेट है ना, guys? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what do you mean by the word connect? Come on,
Correct,
what do you
of
mean by the
course.
word inner circle? So let me tell you, I started my first investment because, see, let me tell you guys, it's not just the money you make out of your business. It's what you do with that money. And I personally feel that I managed and used that money in the right way. I started investing at the age of 17 when I started earning for the very first time. And today that investment is at 100 CR of net worth.
Wow. Oh, पहले तो बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया यार. Thank you, man. I love your transparency. Yeah, how many of you love him already? Do you see the similarity or no? I told you, ऐसे हम लोग connect नहीं होते vibe से ऐसा. It's not because he's Gujarati, okay? A lot of people do not get this quantum leap that you had in your business in less than few years, at such a young age, such a nascent age. And I see people 40 years, 50 years more, but they're still struggling to pay the bills, not fulfilled, not happy. And when I look at you, you are a holistically successful person, right? Mentally, physically you're fit. Mentally, of course, you're fit. Physically, you're fit. Spiritually, highly spiritual. Financially, of course, हमको पता चल गया सारे secret. And socially also.
Yeah.
I love and adore you and your wife Shivangi on how you are like Shiv Parvati, right? I gave you an example, no? This couple is a classic example of Shiv, Parvati, Shiv, Shakti. Shivangi also, can you give a round of applause to both of them actually? I was expecting she'll be here, but she had some other commitment, with maybe next time. So, ऐसा क्या reason है? What is so special that you do or you did that other people are not able to do and they're not able to achieve results? ऐसा नहीं है कि intelligent नहीं है, brains नहीं है, knowledge नहीं है. तो क्या कमी है?
2 things I would like to share here. Number 1 is so common. Everybody knows it, but not necessary that they apply it. And the first thing is deciding specific goals, measurable goals with a timeline in your life. Like when I was 17, in a rented place, I listed down 101 goals, sitting 4 days alone And those 101 goals, when I finished writing that down, I was sure about this कि ये इस जन्म में भी नहीं होने वाला है. But let me tell you guys, by the time I turned 26, out of those 101 goals, I was able to achieve 99 goals.
99. No. झूठ मत बोलो आप. Wow. 99.
And I'll also share a very powerful secret with you guys. First of all, majority of the people don't decide that goal. If they decide, they don't write that down. If they write it down, then they keep it in a book or in a cupboard. वो देखते तक नहीं है, पढ़ते भी नहीं है. किसी की नजर ना लग जाए.
खुद की भी नहीं लग रही है फिर. नजर ही बंद हो गई फिर. And I think Tony Robbins ने भी यही कुछ किया था ना. I think he also did something similar.
That's way similar, and I got inspired from him. Yeah.
I know he's your role model, he's your mentor. So like how much love I have for Grant Cardone and Dan Log you have for Tony Robbins. But what I love about you, I think, is you definitely are a dream student, man. Like you walk the path as your mentor is telling. And just as Tony Robbins' journey tha, I think you also did the same thing. He didn't have the money. He didn't eat vada pav. He gave away the money to the young kid and he had tears. How many know Tony Robbins' story, by the way? Like how he got transformed. Go check it out, man. He's an unbelievable human being.
Yes.
उनका story ऐसा है जो broke थे, almost, they had no money. जितने पैसे थे, eat as much as you can में वहाँ गए. और जो बचे थे सारे पैसे वो दे दिए. His bank account 0. And he was in tears. Not tears of pain कि मैं broke हूँ, but they're tears of joy. And then that's when the journey began. He made a commitment that he will never be broke again. And then he got the money, he wrote the goals, and he transformed himself. Aapka journey bhi bahut similar hai. What advice you have for people who are, let's say, who have started the journey around their passion, they're making a little bit of money, they're growing a little bit. What is your secret of staying consistent for so many years? A lot of people give up. They don't even last for 20 months. Like you've been doing for 20 years. तो आपका consistency का secret क्या है? Manifestation हम समझ गए.
I personally feel that one thing has kept me consistent, and that's my why. See, each and every day, you have to remind yourself, why did you start? See, for example, initially when I started, it was just about money, building my own house, giving a space to my parents. That's how it started. But that got fulfilled in a couple of years. What next? Now you have to find one more why. And today, if you ask me what's my why, every morning when I wake up, I'm grateful to God that I have an opportunity today to be in front of 400 people, maybe 2,000 people, maybe 5,000 people, to bring a change in their lives. And I need to speak this in a Hindi, guys, and that is, हमारा देश सोने की चिड़िया थी, उसे वापस सोने की चिड़िया बनाया जा सकता है. But what we need is passionpreneurs like you.
True.
If somebody like Tata he can buy Techly, which was a 2x bigger company. If Tata Steel can buy Chorus, which is a 4x bigger company. If Tata Motors can buy Land Rover Jaguar, which might be 7 or 8x bigger company. And all of these three companies are UK-based companies. And if an Indian origin man can become the biggest employer in UK,
wow.
Then let me tell you, you guys are not working for yourself. Here, Dev is not here to help you earn your Mercedes or a BMW. He is building this nation's economy with you guys. Let's have a big round of applause. Yep.
Thank you. I'm not the hero right now. He is the hero. Okay. Because I'm the circuit. He is the Munna Bhai right now. Focus on him.
so what I mean to say by that is, guys, when you build your empire, आपकी ज़रूरतें साल 2 साल में 5 साल में पूरी हो जाएगी. What next? Then you need to start thinking about the people around you, the society and the whole country, and what you can give back through your business, through your entrepreneurship is of next level. But everything starts with passion. Everything starts with that feeling of giving. And one thing I would like to add, Dave, that if you want to do something consistently and grow consistently in your life, then what is required is consistent ability to take risk. You see, आप वक्त के साथ बदलाव नहीं लाओगे तो वक्त आपका साथ नहीं देगा. You have to consistently grow, consistently take risk, and you have to go all out for that. I'll just share a small story when we're talking about Tony Robbins. Back in 2009, I wanted to attend Tony Robbins in person. Videos dekh liye, kitabein padh li. I wanted to go out there, sit like this, and see Tony Robbins. US का वीज़ा नहीं मिलता था.
अभी भी मुश्किल है बहुत लोगों के.
So he was conducting in Rimini, Italy, UPW. Back in those days, the size of the ticket, सबसे पीछे बैठने का 5,000 लोगों का. I was not able to afford that. I saved money for the full year. I invested for that ticket, booked the flight, and me and my colleague, it was for 2 people because I wanted to make sure that my partner understands the same. So we both invested और पूरे साल का saving इकट्ठा करके वहाँ पर गए. And guess what? I could not have a hotel for myself because that was too expensive. सारा पैसा लग गया था.
पूरे साल का पैसा जिस टिकट में.
Yes.
कितने 3 दिन का इवेंट, 4-5 दिन का.
It was a 4-day event, and then there was a special experience behind that, investing for 2 people, taking flights and whatever was there.
Yes. What year was that again?
It was 2009.
Wow.
So I'll tell you something interesting here. How that worked was, in 2009 when I went there, I stayed back in a hostel, walked 4 kilometers because already a lot of my cash flow was invested in few things. So I walked 4 kilometers because back in those days, taxi in euros was, और अपनी गिनती रुपए में चलती है, multiply करके.
For sure.
Okay? And, when I went there, I realized, इतना पैसा लेने के बाद ये खाना भी नहीं देते.
ऐसा इधर भी हो रहा है वैसे, और हमने इतना पैसा नहीं लिया है. हमने इतना पैसा नहीं लिया है, ठीक है? पूरे साल का इन्वेस्ट नहीं किया आपने, हमने पैसा डाला है हमारा. Very deep.
So I'll tell you something. What happened, guys? I could not buy a sandwich there because 12 euros was pretty high for me. I used to, drink tap water from the washrooms because वो 2-3 euro के लिए भी गिनती चलती थी दिमाग में.
और फिर बॉटल भी नहीं ले सकते थे पहले का.
तो इसी तरह से वहाँ पर 4 दिन गुजारे. But what I'm trying to share here is, I went all out, but that event inspired me to think big. And in the next year itself, I went 5x.
Wow, 5x.
5x.
You see, everything that we discussed in the last 2.5 years, everything we discussed in the last 2.5 days, not years, 2.5 days, you see, are you connecting the dots? It's the same. Taking the risk, go all out, stretch beyond your current comfort, energy. He had unblocked all his energies when he was young, and he's still young. He's continued to keeping his heart open. Kyunki Jio, he's been living that. But yaar, ये जो बता रहे ना, is it only applicable to coaches and trainers? कि इतना successful coaches और trainers ही कर सकते हैं? What if I'm not a coach or trainer? आप दोनों coach और trainer हो, मैं तो नहीं हूँ.
Guys, I am more of an entrepreneur from last 3 to 4 years and less of a coach. No doubt I started my journey as a coach. And what we are talking about applies on each and every one of you. Basically, anyone who wants to go 10x or 100x in their life, this is applicable on you. Because see, for example, right now, I'm into real estate. Back in 2014, I started my real estate business.
Good.
I'm into hydroponic farming. We have a nutraceutical brand. We are into IT company and many different things. But then I'm sure
Nutrition.
all of those fundas are applicable in all of this
All
business.
industries. अभी कितने businesses हैं आपके? How many businesses do you have?
So specifically,
yours,
it would be
partnership?
12.
12.
12.
सोते हो आप? You sleep properly?
You know, back when I was when I was in the backstage, couple of your mentees, the millionaire guys out there, they asked me, in a week's time you have, or less than a week's time now, you have a big event coming up. Are you stressed or are you working so hard and what are you doing for that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, Sara kaam diya hua hai. So the answer to that is when people ask me, how do you manage 12 different businesses because we are not able to manage one, then friends, just have the right team, the right operators, and the right partners.
That's beautiful. I love it. I love it.